going to condense everything that to be discovered, loved, and learned about the world of scents, smelling, and a related emotional response to a very, very simple kind of like a gist of what the fragrance market is today. Because again, the focus of today is to help you guys navigate the tumultuous gift-giving season to actually show someone, whoever that is, in your life that you care. I'm going to use a fairly standard gender division between fragrances, which is mostly just a marketing tool. There's not much true science behind it, really. No, not really. Nevertheless, again, it's about pragmatic choices that you can make, and if you go to an online store or a real retail shop, you will still have to battle the same kind of distinctions of scents between the families for her, for him.
Another important factor that kind of stems from the first one is that every iconic, super duper famous fragrance, perfume that is known to us through history came first with the invention of a new molecule that we're capable of smelling, a new olfactive compound that was new at the time and created kind of a smelling sensation, a profile not really experienced or known before. So the whole thing, the spiel about natural fragrances, is at best wishful thinking. And when it comes to masterpieces in perfumery, it doesn't matter to whom it is marketed, to men or women, any scent that is super famous, usually a result of a chemical innovation. As we know, all around the world, in every industry, there is such a phenomenon that is called fragmentation. It is also part of what we're experiencing right now when we're trying to choose a scent. So if before something like Chanel No. 5 could be linked to a very specific molecule that was invented and sold as a proprietary compound to Chanel, now it happens on a much larger scale. There are roughly, you can always define like the biggest 10 chemical, and they're actually ported to pharma. They're part of the pharma industry. Chemical compound companies, once they synthesize something new, something that, passes all the tests for safety, for allergens, for this and that, and it also is cost effective to make, they send that to the labs, and the perfumers who are chemists, often with advanced degrees in this very specific type of chemistry, they start playing with formulas, including this new compound, and then we, instead of seeing one hero perfume, we see the whole kind of trend, like nutty smelling perfumes become all of a sudden popular, or there was a moment of these kind of musky, lychee roses that were becoming popular. Not every single trend in how people want to smell and what they enjoy smelling, it is both biological but also cultural phenomenon. Not every one of them is related to a new molecule that gives us a new smell. Some of them are purely cultural moments, like if, I don't know, a famous actor, singer, or blogger popularizes a well-forgotten perfume, that can create a wave without really creating innovation. Nevertheless, like if it's something truly big, like Baccarat Rouge, in a way they found a way. There was it's actually innovation in between. There's no real chemical compound innovation there, but they wrapped it like the formula the way that nobody else before them did, and that created the whole Baccarat Rouge family of fragrances. And Baccarat Rouge is the fragrance name that's owned by a brand called Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Francis Kurkdjian is a very famous perfumer and a business kind of producer of the creative director. Right now he's got a gig at Dior Beauty, so there's a whole thing behind it. But what I wanted you to understand, that whatever I show you here, I try to divide them into families, just like what I described when there are these waves of fragrances that have something that makes them similar but not quite. So I try to do the same thing. There is all kinds of classifications of fragrances. You don't necessarily need to know all of that. And I find that when it comes to people's likes. It is both very subjective and at the same time fairly predictable. Since this is a video about you trying to make a woman special, the best you can do, and we're gonna start with that, the best you can do is to let her choose her own. To that end, first of all, I think the best gift for anybody who loves fragrances is to introduce them to my channel and let them subscribe if they want to. That just goes without saying, all right? But I said it. I said it. Next one, the next best, I would say. After they subscribed, if they really want to dive and choose different kinds of profiles to see what they are about, what their nose and their mind is truly about when it comes to creating a very unique and special ambiance, which is scents, then buying them a gift card from my stash. So I am working diligently on publishing my massive perfume library online, and anyone who wants to treat somebody with a gift card is super welcome. I'll leave a link below. So this is probably one of the most kind of smart and customizable options to give someone a gift card. Potentially a subscription to a perfume sampling service. Those do exist, though, you know, subscriptions tend to, you know, there's such a thing as like getting it eventually canceled if you know, don't want to keep piling up samples. It can get a little bit cumbersome, but it's still like a very nice gift, so the person doesn't have to live with a fragrance they don't necessarily like, but at the same time they have an option to sample some really interesting, unique things that you cannot find easily in the big retail store, and online is such a big world that it's very easy to just get lost in it. There's obviously, I'm just gonna state because it's there is Jo Malone, which to me is like Ikea of perfumes. Not a big fan, but it exists. They have wide variety, they have decent presentation and gift packaging. So I know a lot of people just default to that, run off the day off of this, you know, the special day, and just get something at Jo Malone. It is a way, but I think it's been so done and overdone that I would argue you're not gonna make anyone feel special. They know that was the kind of like an afterthought type of a gift. It's just my personal opinion. Again, no shade to the chemists who created Jo Malone fragrances, but it's just the place that it now occupies in this world, to me, does not, let's just say it does not scream you're special. Luckily, perfume industry is well aware of this fact, so you're like, whatever you choose, unless it's Baccarat Rouge or like certain very unique niche things, you're in the safe zone no matter what you choose. It is so common, if you're ever curious, just search, you know, the sexiest fragrances, the fragrances guys go crazy for. You will always hear the same stuff there that, you know, like usually it's just syrupy, sweet, edible perfumes that everybody recommends. Like, oh, guys really love them. Guys just like something sweet. Guys just are really simple. They know nothing about scents. They have absolutely no taste. Just wear something cloying, syrupy, sweet, smell like a dessert, and that's gonna be just fine. Coincidentally, these are the very fragrances when men approach me every once in a while, and I was like, how can I inspire my mother, girlfriend, work mate to stop wearing La Vie Est Belle or Baccarat Rouge or one of those, you know, super syrupy Mugler Angel type of scents? How can we nicely, without starting a gender war, just stop this? This is so unbearably, cloyingly sweet that I want to puke. I'm gonna get heat for that, I know it, because every single sexy fragrance recommendations that are given to women is that. And then I have to like provide a therapy, free therapy support for guys whose girls or women around them over shopped on that advice, and then everyone but the girls who are clueless is miserable around them in these sticky just bath of liquid sugar. You're not gonna find anything like that in my recommendations here, because I try to pull things that are kind of on the intersection. They are nothing much, because if the person that you're thinking about has very unique taste, I would rather you not listen to YouTube recommendations about, what kind of scents to buy them. It's a very personal, very character driven, and their history of what kind of scents shaped their childhood. Like, it can go like as far as like therapy, in terms of like, where did you live, in which climate, what did your mom smell like. It is really that deep and that personal, because here's another cool fact: the longest memory that we have is for scents. So something that evokes a memory, bad or good, can be, like just a floral, jasmine or rosy scent. But one person will remember something delightful about it, and somebody will be triggered by past trauma because somebody in their life wore it all the time, and those were the most horrific times of their life. So that's about subjectivity of what people really associate with scents. That said, there is a little bit of a chemical objectivity there too. All right, since we already mentioned the topic of Jo Malone, there are also two important distinctions to me. There are fragrances that are called niche. It's usually, they're not necessarily small companies, but those are the companies who only make fragrances. That's their specialty, so therefore niche. Some of them are well known, some of them are not known at all, some of them are expensive, some of them are very, very affordable. And there is the world of designer fragrances. Designer means the brand name, and they make lots of things, usually clothing, accessories, shoes, and whatnot. So designer examples are Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, and we're going to talk about this line in a second. Niche fragrances are something like Jo Malone actually is niche because they only make scents. So if you are looking for something fairly well known, that carries that kind of additional value of a well-known name, but you want it to be a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more special, yet to have this kind of lighter appeal, something that is non-offensive, that is office friendly, I would really recommend that you guys look at the Prada colognes. Do not get bogged down by the names perfume, fragrance, cologne. It's all, in the modern age, it's all essentially marketing. Back in the day, cologne versus perfume were referring to the chemical composition, which is not even the scent profile. It was just the percentage of certain ingredients. Like, it was literally, like you would distinguish wine by its alcohol percentage. Similar thing. So it really doesn't carry any real meaning these days, whether it's called cologne, scent, fragrance, perfume, eau de toilette, eau de parfum. It's all very became very gray area of what is called what. So Prada colognes, first of all, I find that these are one of the most sophisticated colognes on the market, and by that you would mean like lighter formulations of waters that you can spray, like eau de toilette, kind of lighter scents that are very universal. They don't have much of a punch, but they have an interesting sophistication to them. These are just the three of mine that I find unisex and delightful, to the point that once you start using it, you just keep like bathing yourself in that scent, and it's just so wonderful to smell on anyone, really. Prada Mandarine, really cool, non-trivial mixture of fragrant components and this kind of zesty but tasteful orangey mandarin scent. Rose, they're called pretty simple, and again, this is why I'm starting with this. Vetiver. I find that people, if the person that you're thinking about, or you, because you probably are planning on smelling this around a lot, if you know that you absolutely detest everything super sweet or super this or super that, if the fragrance contains the word vetiver, vetiver is a type of grass, and when it's processed and added as a kind of an accord of chemicals into a scent, it gives it this slightly soothing, somewhat like kind of green, grassy, herbal maybe, or woody effect. So the vetiver is really well known in aromatherapy for its soothing properties, for kind of the effect that it has on the people's moods, that it's easier to concentrate, it kind of calms people down a little bit. So Prada vetiver is one of those things that I just adore for work, and it shines equally beautifully on men and women and however else people choose to define themselves. Another family that fragrances that kind of produces this soft cuddly effect. So these fragrances, they kind of sit close to the skin, and you will feel they're almost like a souffle. They just softly surround the skin, and you will most likely feel them when you're in the close embrace. They usually don't have what's called sillage, this kind of projection when the fragrance just like runs off your skin and fills the space. These are cocoons. They're soft. There can be different elements in them, we'll talk about in a second. They can be of various components and accents, but their overall property, that they're for, like Netflix and chill, third, fourth day kind of situation. And again, they're non-offensive, they are not going to disturb anyone, and I chose the ones that I find to be somewhat kind of rounded and romantic. So these are they have very high regards from everybody who's ever tried them, man or woman. This is the one that I made famous. I claim fame for popularizing this on YouTube. This is Mia Perla by La Perla, a designer brand, fairly inexpensive, but you'll most likely be able to find it online or in my stash. Link to it is left below. And this is, to me, the quintessential kind of staple of what a cuddly lingerie, soft souffle type of perfume is all about. Beautiful scent, fairly affordable, very well packaged, and this is why I'm proposing it as a gift. It's a really would make a really nice gift that doesn't break the bank, and it's not as mainstream marketed. I'm trying again to show you things that are easy to find, rare, unique, expensive, like everything across the things, but each of them has at least one element that makes it a little bit more unique. It shows that you put some thought into it, that you just didn't run off to the closest store and grab the first thing that the sales consultant put in your hand. This one is very well known, but I think is kind of underappreciated, and this is Dior Pure Poison. This is out of the line of Poison, is the softest, the cuddliest, the most kind of demure and romantic of them. Highly recommend. Has a little bit more of a trail than the other two, so this one might actually leave a very nice memory moment on your pillowcase. And the third one of the same category, this to me is like a day spent in a luxurious day spa. This is a niche brand called Micallef, and the fragrance is called Royal Muska. It's creamy, and it's like milkshake with apricots. It has of this a little bit of a peachy apricot flavor to it, but it's so soft, and it has this lotiony kind of smell. If you like think Dove, you know, like a certain types of very soft lotions that just give you this feeling of very well taken care of, like a lot of self-care, a lot of self-soothing. Beautiful fragrance. This one again very beautifully packaged, and especially for those who like the bling, it's all there. Pricier, and yet again I would recommend uh, if you can do that, rather get a travel. I also have it in my stash, so you can get it from me or from anywhere else. That said, if you're going to kind of like for the impact, the full-size bottle, nothing can quite compare with the full-size bottle. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, kind of continuing the theme of cuddly, soft, kind of fluffy scents that are charming but not invasive. These ones actually have a little bit more of a projection. You can, depending on how much you apply, you can kind of, they do travel in space more. That said, Tardes by niche brand Carner Barcelona, I like how elegant and high quality every component of it is made. It also comes in a hard box, so it's very presentable, a really good gift. You can find it online in various stores. Very rarely, to be honest, I've never seen a fake of fragrance by Carner Barcelona online, but I can claim that fakes don't exist. So I find that this niche brand is very safe to buy from wherever, as long as you find the type of fragrance and the type of price that you're happy with. This is why I kind of put it for you here. This is more laconic. The smell itself is like these almond cookies with a little bit of sugar powder. And again, a very light, very charming way. There's no heaviness, there's no cloyiness, there's no this like overwhelming sweetness. It's just very charming. I can't describe it any better than that. Highly, highly recommend it. I don't care, are you man or woman, you'll fall in love with it. You might actually steal it from each other from time to time. Something that has a bit of a punch to it and looks more luxurious. This is a boutique line by designer brand Trussardi. I love those dogs. Kind of looks cool, doesn't it? And again, when you're considering a gift, you have to consider the quality of the packaging, because that, you know, at least half of the wow effect for the gift. And I'm showing you not Dolce & Gabbanas of this world, and nothing that's super predictable and been done and done over. I'm showing you some really good stuff that can have a price tag attached to it, but it's kind of unique and it's amazing. This is a very happy blend between something that is wearable, easy to understand and enjoy. It's not overly complicated like some niche scents, and yet it's recognizable and it's cool, and there is nothing like that I could find on the like retail mainstream market. So it's called La Vie di Milano, and that's the line name. And this fragrance is called Aperitivo Milanese Porta Nuova. The links and the names will be in the description of this video. It is floral amaretto cocktail. So the difference between, you know, almond cookies with sugar powder and amaretto, that amaretto has a little bit of a clean and kind of almost bittery aspect to it. It shoots a star, but it still has this cool almondy aspect. This is such a cool scent. I constantly get compliments, constantly, when I wear it, and I also find it that it's very shareable. And I will give you one option for women if the woman you're thinking about has a sweet tooth. This is hard to find. You'll have to hunt for it or get a sample from my stash. This is Replica Exchange by the designer Maison Margiela. Sephora carries the brand, but to my knowledge this scent is discontinued. The scent is called Lipstick On. This is sweet, powdery, irisy type of perfume. It's been my guilty pleasure for a number of years. I could not admit to myself that I liked it so much to buy it, and when it got discontinued, I realized I was late to the game. A subscriber of mine just sent me a gift, and I now have this bottle. There is always some truth to any cliche. Gourmands, what's called gourmands, sweet fragrances that remind us of desserts, of jams, of anything sweet, of chocolate and whatnot. They are cool, and they are very pleasant, and they do make us feel this fuzzy and happy feelings because we like sweet things. They do make us happy. I just wish that people who wear them didn't apply more than 3 sprays, you know what I mean? And there is also the ones that are on the safer side and the ones that are just beasts. So I want to honor the popular category by showing you 3 that I find non-offensive, unique enough in how they smell, and somewhat unique either by brand or, like hard to find. So they have these kind of special factor. So anything vanilla usually will land you in a safe space when it comes to something sweet. Yet there are a lot of kind of cliche, bland, vanillin, like you're eating vanilla ice cream kind of scents. And they're just boring, and they don't even feel like a proper perfume. This is by a historic maker of glass art objects and all kinds of glass objects called Lalique. The perfume is called Lalique Le Parfum. I used to buy Lalique perfumes for like dirt cheap, like $30-40. Now they are kind of pricey, and you gotta hunt them online. A retail store is very rarely gonna have them unless it's a niche, like independent shop that specializes in all kinds of scents and fragrances. Yet it's still more affordable than majority of designer scents, I would say. It definitely has the history, kind of like, and gravitas of what Lalique represents. So Lalique Le Parfum, first of all, smells like a very tasteful, interesting, sweet vanilla fragrance, and it's kind of made a little bit more unique by, on the background, these flavors of bay leaf. You don't have to think about cooking. It's done in a way that a lot of people don't know what is so special about it until they learn that there is a bay leaf accord in this composition. It definitely has the uniqueness factor because Lalique as just a fundamental block of fragrance history. And I mean, it's pricier now than it used to be, but it's not as expensive as some of the niche brands out there. So a very cool vanilla scent that has a lot of the uniqueness factor and kind of brand value behind it and history. The one that is more accessible to people in Europe than in the United States, you can get it in the United States, but you'll have to hunt it online, which makes that kind of unique. This is Yves Saint Laurent. I don't know why, but they don't carry this particular scent in the United States. In Europe, it's sold everywhere. And that is a very romantic, semi-sweet rose, and it's called Elle. I mean, it's kind of easy to remember. Flashy, hot pink color. Some women kind of really go for that. Some women don't. Try to read the taste of the person you're thinking about. So, you can heat it just so. It is right in between being semi-sweet and being this rounded, romantic, rosy kind of scent. almost all of us can recognize rose in perfumes if it's central. Here it is almost 50-50. It's like semi-sweet wine, but with very distinctive rose flavor to it. I love it. It works beautifully inside and outside. It leaves a trail. That's for the girls who do care about leaving a trail of their scent behind them. And yet, I haven't once found it to be annoying anyone, cloying, disturbing, or offensive. So this is one fragrance with kind of these like 50-50 component of something floral or something sweet with a trail and projection that keeps everyone happy. And even though it's a famous designer brand, Yves Saint Laurent, Elle is not that easy to find, but you can. If you look online, you can find it. Or get it from my stash, just like I said. The rose that's way more special, discontinued, niche, and just something else, in my opinion, is Elie Saab. It's a designer brand, but they're boutique line. It's Essence #1 Rose. To me, if rose desserts were actually tasty, because like I'm not a big fan, that's what it would be. It's slightly powdery. It's rosy. It's very softly sweet, like, and again in this kind of souffle cheesecake fashion kind of sweet. It is just so high fashion rose to me, and yet the gourmand aspect of it is very tasteful. Highly recommend. Discontinued was expensive when it was made. Now you can only imagine. But you wanna show somebody who loves roses and who loves tasteful gourmands that they're special, that's one way to go. And the last category I'm gonna like kind of probably try to speed up for the sake of time is our more spicier, heavier Arabic style gourmands. These are fragrances that often remind us of boozy, like alcohol, cognac, old-fashioned, Manhattan. They have that kind of quality to them. One that I think looks just super cool, and that's like an exceptional example of how surrealist art can be ported into the perfume. This is a Bukhara by Salvador Dali Parfums. You can buy it online. You can buy it in almost every Salvador Dali museum, to my knowledge, which are not that many, but we have one in St. Petersburg in Florida. You can buy them there actually. They're in stock. You can buy a sample from my stash, but again, if you're going for the kind of the artistic effect, it smells like sweet spices, dry fruits, specifically dates. I would use it sparingly. Definitely it feels more of like a cold, wintry type of perfume. But in many ways, for those people who like that profile, if your girl likes Mental, likes Mancera, that might be it. This is worth mentioning for the brand's sake alone, because the Comptoir South Pacifique made its name for all kinds of vanilla plus. So they're all gourmands, they're all kind of cheerful, romantic, more edible type of gourmands. But the one that I in particular absolutely love from them is called Rum and Tabac. I just tend to like vanilla when it's mixed with something else. I find it kind of boring and not really perfumey when it's that, in your face. And this one I wore for so many years, and Come to Our South Pacific, it kind of comes and goes online. You can either buy it dirt cheap or it's fairly expensive. You just need to hunt it down, but I would highly recommend you check them out. My recommendation from what they make in terms of sweeter, more substantial, sweeter perfumes is Rum and Tabac. And something that I find super duper special for like a number of reasons is a Tower perfume. Truly niche brand. Andy Tower, it's his namesake brand, lives in Switzerland. I ordered mine from Switzerland, and I just wanted to show you that it has these, it's both luxurious and modern at the same time. And his formulations are very dense, lavish, and rich. The one that I recommend for very special occasions, when you really like luxuriously sweet and spicy perfumes, is Accord du Désert. I think that's the heart of the desert in translation. And if you buy it from his lab in Switzerland, which is like not that much more expensive, you just have to pay for delivery from Switzerland, you might get lucky and he signs your bottle, he signs your package. So I have it signed by Andy. If I were you, just to make sure if you really go for that, is to shoot them a note when you make an order and ask them, you know, like, I'm buying this as a gift. I would really appreciate if Andy could sign the package. And I think they are fairly happy to oblige as much as they can, depending on the volume of sales they have that month. So, unique packaging. This bottle alone can fill your room with the most delicious, sweet, rich, spicy, gourmand scent. This is why I actually keep mine in its original packaging. They are very high concentration. So I would not give it as a gift to somebody who doesn't wear perfumes or doesn't know what they like. This is if you know that the woman you are thinking about is a lover of rich, dense, dark, spicy, sweet scents. Andy Tower, the heart of the desert, Accord du Désert. Hope I'm saying it right. I'll leave a name and the link below. It's just as special as it gets. Alright, this is where I'm gonna leave you tonight. I think it's already long enough. I did try to kind of condense things to their most useful parts. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. If you want to learn more about how do we smell things and how this whole thing works, or any other types of videos, please leave a comment below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like. I also have a donation button. You want to click that? It's there for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. That was the whole point of making this video. If it wasn't, I'll try again, and maybe I'll find even a simpler way to talk about it. But I wish you best of luck in the gift-giving season. We all will survive it this way or another. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.